Hello, we're back. I hope you all sorted out your shit, you animals. I bet you're not doing that thing you said you'd do. I bet you're not. I know I'm not. So, Forak is in the forge. And I can tell you, Forak, the name of this forge is Smolder Black Forge. Very powerful dwarven name. You'll be spending the day there working. You're overseeing some other people, which means you actually have a lot of time. This is very convenient for you, a lot of time to look around and to get to know people how you want to. What you notice with that investigation role is the person in charge of this place is he actually the person who talked to you and interviewed you. His name is Thardic Hornhall, and he's fairly standard dwarven blacksmith guy. Nothing really seems surprising to him. But there's another guy that gets the same sort of respect as him, who is a dwarf with bright red hair and a bright red beard, which, of course, is not weird for dwarves. That's kind of almost stereotypical for dwarves in some ways, but more like hill dwarves and mountain dwarves. But he looks like a mountain dwarf to you. It's just very obvious in this room, in this smoke. And he's having a conversation with Hornhall, and he's had a few. And when you really notice that this is more important than a random person coming in, is when you get interest. I mean, no one else has come into this building. You've packaged some stuff, you see some stuff getting packaged, but no one else other than the workers and the people in charge have come in. There's no, customers, there's nothing going on. This is the only guy eating and leaving.
Okay, I honestly do not want to have much conversation with many people. So when I walk around with my investigation check, seems to be like the one person that I really want to talk to. You know what I mean? Because everybody else is just kind of like, aside from telling them what I need to do, you're saying this is the one person I kind of want to get information about.
This is like the person that stands out, and not in that they don't belong. It's like they belong too much for not being a smith here. They're not a smith. They're not wearing protective gear, anything like that.
So at one point in time when they're kind of in the area and I'm on coffee break or whatever it is that I do to be away, I'll probably be make my way over to the person. Not I walk up to them from across the room, but I already was doing something in that area.
Yes.
And just kind of be look at them from a short distance away, curious. And then I'll just be hey, because they're dwarven, yes?
Yeah, absolutely dwarf.
Yeah.
Mountain
okay,
dwarf,
just
it seems.
Sure. What was that?
Mountain dwarf, it seems.
Oh, yeah. But I just be hey.
Yes?
I've seen you here from time to time. What is it that you do here? You're no smith, and I'm the one looking after them. Are you my boss?
I'm your boss's boss.
Up the ladder. No, sorry, I say up the tunnel.
Up the tunnel, yes. Your boss, your Hornhall, all of your forge. You work for me. You do what my company does.
Oh, good. Forak.
Gondforth. Flame Churl. And you can clearly tell the way he says Flame Churl that name is meant to be this is a family name, a company name. They're the ones in charge. He clearly says it remember that. I don't care if you remember my first name. Remember Flame Churl.
Because you say it's clearly, so it's pretty apparent to me immediately. I'll just give I'll do the best I can to put a look on my face, a look of respect on my face. And with that, I actually will shift a little bit, change my demeanor to be a little bit more formal. And I'd be sorry, I already forgot what it was, but I wrote it down. Give me 1 second. I say, Gundforth. Yes, then if I can bother you for a moment, please, if there's a way that I can best serve your family, I show me what do I do wrong here? And I'm literally kind of gesturing for him to join and walk with me to look at the facility that I'm in charge of.
He looks around and clearly there's nothing else he needs to do right now, so he does come with you. And looks around.
Be like, and I say to him like, almost jokingly, I'm just kind of like, and don't hold back.
Interesting. So he watches the. I assume you took him to the smelting, like area. Yes.
Correct. Making sure that things are being taken care of, things are smelted correctly. Just trying to see like if how my leadership is doing and how the people are doing. And if at any point in time I literally have to interrupt him when he's speaking to yell at somebody, I totally will do so. I have no problem. Okay. Whereas if I was kind of like a laid-back leader, I'm going to be a bit more strong-armed than I was before. Yeah, exactly. So kind of like licking the corporate asshole is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Okay. What role? Well, this is a charisma. This is a charisma roll, but you have proficiency on it because you are proficient. You are a proficient smith. So whatever you'd get to normal persuasion, but with proficiency.
Smith you're saying Smith charisma? Basically,
yeah.
Let me change. Oh no, that's wrong. That's not right.
Shame. That's a good roll.
Shame. Oh no, I want that roll. But do I have advantage on it? Don't I?
No, because
I'm not actively smithing.
You're not smithing right now. This is just it's charisma, but the way you're leading infers your knowledge. Is why I'm doing this. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Oh, natural ones. We're cursed to roll natural ones on the important rolls. And in contrast, the only natural 20 we've got so far this session is to investigate the bulge of a statue.
You need to make bulges important because that's what you're good at. Whereas the crux moments are ones. Haha. So.
Come on, I live for
So, what happens? Like, it actually starts off very well. You're starting to show, and I imagine he's like, well, this is interesting. I'm looking at the blah 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 blah. Talking about the exact kind of metal that you're making, and it actually isn't the most normal one. It's not standard steel. There's a little bit of a mix going on that must be for a specific reason. And it's sort of impressive. Then, through no fault of Thorak, through no fault, aside from maybe orders that he's given, one of the other smelters who's been working here for a long time, but like I said, they're young. They must be 50 or so, which for a dwarf would be like 18 or so. Let's call him Jonth. Jonth falls in the smelter. He's carrying something a bit too heavy because Thorak may have told him to do better. Like, we need higher. Need to move more of this, and trips, falls, and like he said, there's like a scream, but that's of him falling. When he hits the actual like molten metal, there's like a hiss and steam and a horrible smell, which to Thorak is normal actually, of burnt flesh and then burnt clothing and burnt everything else. And then there's silence, and silence in everything because everything has stopped, and everyone looks over, and a couple of people throw up. Gondor Flameshell does not throw up. Hornhall doesn't throw up, but he runs over from where he was. Hornhall most of the time spends in a upstairs office overseeing the main forge room that has a window. And the thing that you've noted about this is that there's no ventilation in the main room, but there's ventilation in his office. So he's like having a lovely time. We all get in the black lung. He comes down, like runs down the stairs, runs over, like, what happened? What's going on? While like someone drags the remains of this guy out, but like the whole first front of his top half of his body is burnt to the skeleton, which makes more people throw up and more people scream.
So as all this is happening or whatever, and I see everybody like freeze, and then what's his name running out, and I imagine he doesn't run out exactly where we are. He's a bit of a distance away. I'm actually going to look at the person that tried to recover the situation, look at the person that I was walking around and talking with, and I'm just going to be like, I'm going to shake my head a bit and be like, in Dwarven. I'm gonna cuss, like inappropriately cuss in front of him, like oh, like motherfucking youths and their fucking millennials are ruining jobs. You know, one of those fucking millennials are killing jobs. So I say that. Hold on, I say that, and then I say, my apologies. I do not like working with things so simple as steel and metal. It's layman's work. And then I kind of like hobble my way over to the I gotta deal with this. And it's to speak to what's his face,
the boss, Hornhall.
The boss.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a persuasion roll to see if you can save the horrible thing that just happened.
Is it persuasion or deception? It's the same. It's persuasion's better for me. I'm just curious.
I think this is persuasion because yeah, you're lying, but also you're not fazed by this. You hate that they were young. Like this is not that. It's not a big lie. You're just sort of embellishing the truth, really.
Millennials.
Okay. You don't notice Flameshell say anything. Hornhall goes up. It's like, this is your first day, and we have death. This is entirely irresponsible. You'll never find a job in my forge again. You'll have to leave. And of course, you'll have to be paying for the boy who's taking care of his mother. This is the whole.
Oh, it is like person like you. No spine, a small sack. This is what you would do. You've got shit employees, and I new person to job, and you blame your training of shit employees on new guy. That way you look good in front of boss. Morden does not look well on you and your middle management bullshit job. And I turn and I just start walking away laughing.
Give me an intimidation roll real quick. But yeah, like you walk out laughing, and well, people tried to recover the situation. Okay, that clearly doesn't get through to the guy, but it gets through to the room, you know? And you hobble out of the forge, and imagine you take a moment to sort of recenter yourself from both.
Imagine my big heavy laughter. One of my like kind of organs was shifted out a little bit, and so I kind of like go and tuck it back into like my.
That's actually what I was thinking. Like laughing hurt, especially kind of like forced douchebag laughter. After about 5-10 minutes, Gondor Flameshell walks out, and sort of like, and like gets a cigar out. And lights it, but he doesn't seem to have a lighter, and you don't really catch how he lights it. It might have been magic, it might have been something else. And actually looks at you and is like, you weren't squeamish at all by that.
It is smelt job. What do you expect? You think everybody?
It happens. It happens. Sometimes with the way the world is, you forget that hard work sometimes requires a few deaths. You said you do not like dealing with steel. I can understand that. You are clearly talented and not squeamish at all. Tomorrow, when you have washed the stink of burning dwarf from your cloak, you will present yourself to Flame Churl house. And he gives you the basic directions to this like clan house. And that's not the weirdest thing for like a dwarven clan to have a building. Not every group does, especially the new companies do. And he doesn't say anything else. He actually says, "You'll present yourself," and then just leaves. You could follow him. You could talk more, but he's obviously.
He ended the conversation with me and walked away, and I get that. So now that I know that I've actually done a job, whereas before I hadn't, I will finally make my way back to the inn, where I will sit there and I will refill my
your
flasks
Great.
With some cheap whiskey.
So, while that was happening, this was a whole day. Gilwyn and Caitlin, what was your plan? You woke up in separate rooms together, working together. What did you want to do with the day?
Well, I guess we wanted to scout out that place that I was talking about, I think.
Yeah.
But it's doing it in such a way that isn't just like badging in.
Have you got anything like, can you make yourself appear different as well? Because I don't think it would be a good idea to just have a stroll up with you looking like you do.
I have charm person, and that's the best.
Okay, then you're on, like, you can, like, watch from a distance, and I'll try and... Oh, but the problem is I'm useless at anything like this. Doing it in such a way that we're not going to draw attention is going to be tough. What is... Firstly, are we able to get back to this, whatchamacallit?
Do I know my way?
Panther Way trapping company's base.
You're fairly sure you could get your way. You're obviously not going to take the most obvious route, the best route, and you're kind of going across a lot of the city. The tavern that you're in right now is fairly central because that was just a good idea. You're going in 3 different directions. So it will take a long time. Like, you're probably planning this early in the morning, like crack of dawn. You'll get there around about lunch, maybe around about lunchtime. But you will get there. That's absolutely fine. Or will you?
Okay, so what's the, like, environs, I suppose, around this place? Is it a freestanding? Is it amongst lots of other buildings?
The way Gilwyn explains it, because you're not there right now, this is you still planning. It is among other buildings, but it's on like its own little plot. So it's Dwarven, so there's not much space between the buildings, but there's like a tiny little dirt alleyway between everything else, and it's this wooden lodge, but is quite obvious, which is why you could find it on its own. But it's not connected to any other buildings. It's actually got a building almost overhanging it by half above it. Gilwyn doesn't know what that was. He just like does mention that it happened. Oh, that is the case.
Well, we could stake it out to some extent. If there's an overhanging building, I mean, if it was an empty building, we might be able to look at it from there. Saving that, nearby alleys, there's not an easy way to go about this, really.
Perhaps... Nah, I was going to say, take a look around the back, but I kind of like the idea of looking from above.
If that building that it overhangs it is one we can get access to, then yes, it would be a good idea. Other than that, I mean, getting to know whether there's any sort of guard patterns or anything, whether they've got people guarding it, whether there's any sort of we could perhaps get a better idea of that sign you mentioned they were using if we needed to trick our way in.
Well, when I went yesterday, there weren't like 7 guards outside the front door. But it's certain if you wanted to walk in by yourself, I'm sure somebody would stop you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we should probably go and just watch it for the time being and come back here in the evening, see if Forak's back then. I mean, it's not really much of a plan, but when we're short of 2 people, and the 2 people who might be best at this,
yeah,
we don't have many other options.
Do a little bit of a scout, okay?
A little bit of scouting, eh?
Just smile at that. Yes, well, it's certainly it could certainly be useful.
I just say, and remember, don't take everything so serious. Have a little bit of fun. This is cool. What we're doing is cool.
I'm just sort of smile wryly at him. Yes, I understand that, but also be aware that it could be quite deadly. I mean, by your description, you had one of these pistol things pointed in your face last night.
Never pull the trigger. Who wants to ruin a face like this?
Ah!
That is, well, I cannot deny that I wouldn't want to harm that face, but a group like that might not have so many qualms about it. Just be careful, please. I don't want you to get hurt through your recklessness.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no issues with this whatsoever. So you're walking through the Dwarven City. Would both of you give me a perception roll, please?
Yeah.
For no reason at all. I'm not picking up any books for any reason at all. See, that's the thing.
Gilwyn Gallowgir, bane of the bearded bastards. Gilwyn Gallowgir.
Okay.
It's about to get shot from an alleyway.
Well, you know, that's just a thing that happens. You know, it happens to everyone. It happens to the best of us. Huh.
The fame of the gilded port, Scott. Finish the chorus, you son of a bitch.
Fame of the gilded port.
Caitlin, you have that feeling of being watched. You occasionally glance, but you don't actually see anyone following you. But you're walking through fairly busy streets for the most part, although not all. I mean, this is a very... you're not going through the most busy areas. Gilwyn came back here at night through weird alleyways and came here through weird alleyways. Doesn't exactly know where he's going. But still, you know, you have that unsettling feeling that as a someone who has done jobs like not like this, but you do work in slightly shady areas, not necessarily out of choice. You know this feeling.
I
one
would
way or
actually like nudge Gil on the way once I'm certain that I'm aware of this, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, don't look round or anything, but I've had a feeling we've been watched. Just act natural. I've had a feeling we've been watched for a while. It might be an idea to see if we can either lure them out, or at least to hide where we're going for the time being. See if we can find an alley that we can turn down, and see if anyone comes to follow us down it. Something to that effect. I don't like this feeling, and if they've been following you, then going back to where you were last night is only going to cause problems.
I agree. And I will do just that. I will look for an alley to...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You shadow yourself down an alley.
Like
down an alleyway.
I imagine the way we do it is we almost make it look like we're like we're a couple finding an alley to basically
Canoodle.
against private time. Yeah.
Canoodle.
Yeah.
Technical
canoodle.
term is canoodle.
That's the best word.
The Dwarven term.
Listen, you don't need to make it look like it. You guys are, in fact, a couple that are going down the alleyway to canoodle, but it's going to be interrupted by duty.
Exactly.
And I don't mean poop.
For once.
For once.
Okay. This.
Do they hold hands?
Do you hold hands?
Well, if I find an
imagine
alley...
if Gil's pulling me down an alley, then yes, he probably grabs
You
my
grab
hand.
the hand.
Exactly.
You guys are walking straight, and then Gil does like that look left, look straight, look left, grabs her hand, and skits off to the left of her. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you do that, Caitlin. You look back, and you clearly see a dwarven woman in armor, kind of bustling past, leading someone else. I mean, the street was fairly quiet. There were a couple of people on it, and then you're going down this alleyway that is quiet, even quieter. Them going down this way, armed. This is absolutely the person you're looking for. Roll me initiative.
Way.
I'm going to spend luck on that initiative roll, if that's okay.
Absolutely
Yeah!
can. That's fine. There's no issues with that.
I have issues with it.
Oh well, I allow it because
No!
I'm beautiful. Okay. I just need to do something real quick
shit.
because for the record, you need to click on your token beforehand, otherwise it messes up a little bit. But I'm better than Scott, and they'll actually sort it out for you instead of just bitching and moaning. So, what was that
you
new
suck
initiative?
at
Roll?
knowing how to.
I'm pretty good at it. In fact, I'm terrible at using the stars round number system though. I'll admit that quite freely.
Says the person that has them on the wrong map. Just saying.
No, I don't.
Oh, really? Just reusing tokens. You know what's funny is I can't see what's going on with the real map.
You can
so
have to
I
look
have
at the
to
stream,
watch it in
which is
chat.
really helpful for me because I don't want to put like a token Thorak there, like hello.
No, I just watched in chat with the delay is only like 4 seconds right now, which is amazing.
That's
so
weird.
I'm
Usually it's
watching
more.
in chat with a 4-second delay.
Okay, let's see how they go, but almost definitely you're going first. I mean, you clearly saw them. They're like talking to each other, like, all right, let's go in there. And it's clear that the woman is wearing the Panther Trapping Company garb. The man isn't. He has some simple armor on, but not this much. And the woman is definitely in charge. So, Caitlin with a 20 initiative. Fucking steal the show.
Drawing my shield, equipping my shield is an action, isn't it? Not a bonus.
Yeah, I found out the other day. Like it's actually a full
Yeah.
action to go strap it on.
Do
So
I
to
just go with? I'm just gonna go for. I'm just gonna draw the Warhammer two-handed, and I'm gonna bloody charge at them and take a swing at the woman.
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
19 absolutely hits.
I'll take that.
10 bludgeoning damage? Yeah, I'll take 10 bludgeoning damage. Okay, so you rush out, and I'm not going to put tokens of people on this thing because I'm lazy, but there are other people in this place. I'm not going to be the kind of DM that's like, oh, you smack into a child and break them. But there are other people in this street, but not very many. And you rushing out and smacking at this person, especially because it makes a very metallic noise against their chainmail. They're actually wearing chainmail under their like basically trapping jacket. Is very loud. Is very noticeable. Their yell is very noticeable. This person survives the hit, which is a little surprising, but also, you know, not the worst. And they, yeah, like it's actually a beautiful hit, beautiful. But people are starting to run and scatter, which is great for Gilwyn.
I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on the one that Caitlin just attacked.
Sure.
Actually, I'm going to move just there so I can see her a little bit easier. And I'm gonna say, you just interrupted some one-on-one time with my lady, and I was gonna say something about how I'll fuck her and then fuck you next, but you're so fucking ugly. I'm not even gonna bother.
Okay. They completely fail their save. I can never remember what Vicious Mockery does beyond that. Is it disadvantage on the next attack?
Disadvantage on the next attack roll, yes.
Yeah, perfect. This person is like, she's doubling over from being hit in the belly by a hammer, and then this like insult like hits her because of course when Gilwyn speaks, maybe even normally, there's a little magic in those words, and that hits her, and she's just like not recovering as fast as normal, just like but she can fight. She whips out a what is it, a war pick? I'm fairly sure. I just need to remember what damage dice they use. Yeah, baby. Whips out a war pick and goes to town on Caitlin. Hell yeah.
Should have said hammer then.
I mean, I'm not dirty. Yes, I am.
I mean, like you define dirty.
And that absolutely crushing hits. It's one of those ones where she raises up, and you don't have your shield out. And you see this, and you dodge enough that she doesn't hit you in the head, but absolutely like slashes down your shoulder, making a deep gorge, dealing 8 damage to you. I'm fairly sure
Got me with disadvantage. God damn.
Oh yeah.
Now remember, that's going to take about a year to heal.
I had that conversation.
Yeah. And then like that lack of confidence she had kind of comes back, and she like twists the pick in her hands a couple of times, like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're not gonna get away with it. I don't know what devious plans you have with Hendry Gallagher, but you two working together, oh, you'll be dead. And then the other guy is like, yeah, you'll be dead, and whips out a mace and goes to swing at you, and he does not have disadvantage, so he's gonna just gonna go for it. Do 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 diddly dee dee dee. Ooh do do do. This is my killing you song.
Probably.
Oh ho 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 ho!
Oh no!
Oh, you dodge from this. It's probably when it's exactly what happens. It's when she says Hendry Gallagher. You kind of like tilt your head in a little bit of confusion, and that drops your guard just enough for the other guy. He actually does a run up, swings his mace right into the side of your head, dealing 14 bludgeoning damage.
Well, I'm down.
You are downed. You are bleeding from the mouth. It's definitely one of those. And then, like, the woman just like, Hendry, we killed you. Of course, you're bleeding out. You're not dead, but still. Caitlin, give me a death roll.
Oh, yay.
Not cool, Ollie. Not cool, man.
I don't decide what the dice do. 1 point of death.
Oh, no.
Gillian Gallagher, your turn. I will remind you that you actually have a spell for exactly this situation, in case you charge in gung-ho with a rapier. You do have a way to help this.
Sorry?
You do have a way to help this out.
I'm thinking of a couple. Thunderwave would give Caitlin an instantaneous death save, right? Not death save. Death fail.
Yes, because you can't decide not to hit them. I'm fairly sure the spell near that one could help quite a bit.
Yeah.
In your list of 4 spells.
Yeah. What is that? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to cast Charm Person on the clear leader.
That absolutely was not what I was thinking you should do. But I'm not going to say you shouldn't do it. It's 30 feet. Interesting. Go ahead and click that spell card for me. So I don't have to open up your inventory. Make a wisdom save. Great. How do you go about this?
I go, what I said earlier, I changed my mind. You're clearly a noble fighter, and that turns me on more than anything. So I'd like to show you my war pick.
You say that, and her war pick drops from her hand like clang, clang, and she is enraptured. You actually know, Gilwyn, you can see your magic. You're almost only the person that can see your magic. Sometimes bards can see other bards. You can almost see like a whirling around her head of little green and pink barbs. She's like, oh, Gallagher. She is turned.
I've got a spell on you, and now you're mine. Sorry.
Do I?
You have your movement.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you reckon I have enough time to tell her to help my lady friend?
Yeah, you absolutely can tell her to help, and she will on her turn completely accept this, and she'll actually say to the other guys like, "No, leave her be. I need to help like this. I need to help," and she makes a medicine roll.
Oh god! Now she's gonna nat 1 it.
And in a very dwarven way, kind of actually punches Caitlin in the chest, not like a full punch, but like a whew, and like rolls Caitlin onto her front first, and then like a little fountain of blood's like. You don't think it helped, Dean. You don't think it helped. The other guy's like, "Are you fucking mad? This is not. We're here to kill Gallagher," and like runs up this way and just swings again. and it's a hit.
Of course.
For 6 damage.
Oh,
You're probably
You guys need a
you're
stone
probably incredibly spooked by seeing Caitlyn this damaged, and it's one of those ones where there's not actually a huge amount of visible injury aside from the shoulder, like the almost leathery plate there is just shredded off, but she's bleeding from her mouth and her nose, and you are not dumb, and realize that's horrible. So he just gets basically a free hit, like a mash into your side, and you feel things jumble inside. It's one of those.
It's my turn now, right?
It's Caitlin's time to give us a
Caitlin's,
death
yeah.
save. 2 points of death. Gilwyn. Gallagher.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Now,
Do
now is the
something!
Time. Now is the time. Now is the time.
Now is the
I
time?
blame Neil.
Now is the time.
I'm going to. This hit brings me to my knees,
Yeah.
and I fall down to Caitlyn's ear, and I whisper, "I need you, baby girl. Arise." And I'll cast Healing Word on her.
Go ahead and click it and do all that jazz. 5 feet of healing. You actually don't hear the last part. You just hear, "I need you." The rest kind of mumbles away. But then you're from wherever you were, Caitlyn. You are kicked back. There's a gasp, a bubbly, bloody gurgle gasp as you are rocked back to reality. On the floor, bleeding. But you feel some power inside you.
That's the highest heal roll I could do as well, so.
Yeah.
And enjoy.
The woman is kind of distracted and enraptured right now. The man dwarf goes and attacks Gilwyn Gallagher, and he's like, imagine the fame I'll get being the mook that killed Hendry Gallagher. I'll be a full-blown assassin then. And he hits.
Oh no!
Well, you're on your knees.
For
you know,
a-
so it's-
You almost don't dodge, which he kind of expecting you to dodge. Hits you for 3 damage. Caitlyn, you're on the ground. You came back from near death.
I assume getting up will cost me half my movement.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take a risk on the fact that she's charmed and isn't likely to attack me.
Mhm.
I sort of get up, see the circumstances, I grab my warhammer, and just take a staggering step forward and swing it at the male dwarf,
Absolutely.
because she seems to be indisposed for some reason.
She is
Don't know.
like kind of dazed and making googly eyes at Gilwyn.
Yeah. So I'll take that as a good thing.
Gilwyn's a level 1 bard. His charm person isn't the most flawless thing. She's kind of like very obviously like almost drunk. That's definitely a hit. This guy's wearing nothing but leather.
Fuck
Oh.
him up.
That hits. Describe this hit against the guy who nearly killed you.
So I like stagger up with my warhammer slightly woozily, take a step forward, then see him, and like my eyes light up in sort of recognition. I just go smack straight into the side of his head, exactly how he did for me, and knock him backwards. It's not particularly elegant, but it's certainly.
It's definitely like he's knocked backwards into the alleyway, into like the random boxes and bags and just shit that's in there, and yeah, it's.
And then I just stand there
brutal.
panting for a second, like.
You pant like your mouth is dripping with blood. There's like a red smear all this way, like down to here. The wound on your shoulder, you almost don't notice. What you have right now is essentially a sort of like a concussion, like really, basically. You were knocked in the head. And the woman has dropped her weapons and is just kind of like... In fact, right now, she's actually just sort of like fawning over Gilwyn, like bandaging the little wounds he has and like, oh no, don't worry, I'll fix you up. We'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I suppose it's pretty good that I charm person turret.
In the end, yes. But Jesus, did you scare me thinking I'd killed Caitlyn on week 3?
Don't worry, I got it. I got this.
I was just curious what kind of backup character he was thinking as he was making those 2 death saves. Okay. So I was kind of thinking about playing a warlock. I don't know, but yeah, fighter type could be fun too. You know what? The party could definitely use a cleric. I mean, look what happened.
Because you didn't use that healing word on the first turn, what would you have done if I'd have rolled a nat 1 on my second
If she rolled a nat 1, she would have just died.
Guys, 5% of, so he has to make 2 rolls and have that natural one be like the percentage chance of that happening is pretty fucking slim.
I know, but it does happen. Anyway.
Admittedly, I didn't know that natural ones counted as
they do.
Yeah,
Sure, there's
natural
2.
ones
Yeah, I
count
didn't
as
know they
2.
counted as 2.
So when someone has 1 point of death, they can die. They can slip away from you.
It's a 5%
Anyway.
chance to die at that point, yeah.
This one mook is dead. The one that is very clearly part of this Panther company is standing there. In fact, is crouched over helping Gilwyn. Caitlyn, you don't need to make a roll. Very obviously mind controlled. You can tell that they're charmed. You know that Gilwyn's a bard. You didn't know he could do that, but you're smart enough to connect those dots.
I'm going to lay on hands myself because if I've been basically given a concussion, I want to heal it as much as possible. I don't know how much damage Gilwyn's taken, but I'm prioritising myself at the moment.
Sure.
Does Caitlyn take a moment to ponder as she's healing herself whether or not she's been charmed by Gilwyn before?
They know. Luckily.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they know once it's over.
But does she know the spell card?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Does she know the nuances of the spell? You know what I'm saying?
Nuance.
I think Caitlyn would trust Gil anyway. Although maybe that's a charm in itself, but if it's she gets into the whole but if that's a charm, then what? I don't even know. I might as well just trust him. Caitlyn is trusting enough that she would eventually get round to. Oh, I just trust him anyway.
So I basically said to Caitlyn, "Say hello to my new friend that I persuaded to help us out."
Yeah, could I just point out we made quite a ruckus there. We should probably get out.
Yeah, you're in an alleyway. There's quite the scene. Well, you're in an actual normal street. There's quite the scene.
Bring her with us. We can probably ask her some questions.
Are we leaving this little piece of shit?
Well, I don't see what else we can do.
Okay, let's go. Just asking.
Okay, you rush off. You take her with you. She happily follows you along. No issue at all. Where do you go? Are you just going to go off to somewhere else quiet?
Just going to find another quiet alleyway.
Easy enough in a city this big. Gilwyn, you probably didn't realize how hurt you were until now, because you basically just let yourself get hit to help Caitlyn, which is very dramatic. Again, you don't really have any bloody wounds. You're gonna have one hell of a bruise, though. You can always feel it. Like, it's one of those things right now. You can feel the pulsing.
Yeah.
In that area, which is. So that's definitely. You realize your worst when probably while you're getting to the end of that place, you probably end up limping a little bit as the pain sort of travels
I
all
would
the way
immediately offer my shoulder and sort of like help him along if I notice him limping.
I'm okay.
I should have saved some of my magic for you. I didn't realise you were hurt.
I'm okay.
Scott, stop summoning a devil. Stop it. I know you're bored, but you killed a man earlier.
No. I'm so sorry. I just, it's fidgeting. I got ADHD. Leave me alone.
No, damn it. So
I declined that very nice offer. In the very nicest way.
I would be looking at you worriedly though. I realise he's just probably saved me, so.
It's one of those wounds that you can tell, Caitlyn, looking at it, you're your backstory, is not life-threatening. He will be fine, but you still want to heal him. You're Caitlin Halen. You want to help people.
As soon as we're safely in the alley, I will grab the dwarven woman, ask her name.
Her name is Throbbin, which is very unfortunate in human tongue. And you figure it's like there must be a TH and then Robin, but that does not work for you. Well, I imagine she says that and you just smile.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's like whenever somebody says my name's Neil, I'm always like, oh, where's your friend Bob?
Okay. So I've got her by the shoulders and I smack at her name and I go, now, my good friend is going to ask you a bunch of questions and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and I would really much appreciate it if you'd help us.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. I'll help you any way I can, Hendry.
Caitlin, would you like to talk to my Throbbin member? And I turn her towards you.
I laugh at that, like I laugh at that, and then look seriously at Vorman. You're part of the Pantherway Trapping Company, yes?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Where did this order come from to pursue us? I assume you were ordered to pursue us.
Oh, yes, we were. Well, you know, actually, we'd been watching you. I don't really know your name, but you've been asking questions and going around all suspicious, and then turns out that you were going off with old Hendry Gallagher, who, you know, honestly, Orjaw didn't trust you, and then we ended up asking Broadsunder, and I wasn't there. I'm allergic to parrots, so I can't go there, but I know the order was to strike you down. But the consequences, you know, it doesn't matter. You know.
Okay, so where is there exactly that you're referring to?
Oh, you mean Broadsunder's? Yeah, he has a nice sort of a what's the word? Penthouse up in the top of the city. And she like very willingly just sort of tells you the rough directions of where to go, but doesn't know exactly because she's allergic to parrots. And that's basically. Then it's like you stop talking, she stops talking, and Gilwen's like, "Okay, how long longer do we have left?"
Yeah. Would Gilwen actually know that, or?
I would know there's.
You know it's an hour long, and it's probably been about 10 minutes. You actually have a long time. But the thing you know, Gilwen, because you didn't gain your magic overnight. Charm person, they realize afterwards.
Yeah.
And they are never happy. They have never been happy anytime you've done it to anyone before.
I would go on to ask. So, this Pantherway Trapping Company. Do you deal with? Are you smugglers? Do you deal with these
Oh no, we don't smuggle. Not into the mountain. Or out of it. Sometimes out of the Elven lands. No, the whole fire powder thing. We're not meant to have them. They're only meant to be made for the. The name escapes me, but the Forge makes them for the people. And we get them from the Forge in secret. The Forge isn't meant to give them out. But the guy, Hornhall, he works with Broadsunder. They're good old mates. So he's giving us these weapons. They're much better. They've got real stopping power. And that's the kind of thing to take down Fey beasts like we do. You know, need stopping power.
Does this Forge have a name?
Oh, Smolder Black. Smolder Black Forge.
Smolder Black Forge. Not the Forge. Which would be quite cool.
It is a forge.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Okay. Well, I just want to tell you right now, Throbbin, that you and your friends are idiots if you think I was the actual Henry Gallagher. That guy is famous beyond belief.
What? Who are you then?
I am Dwight Littlewood.
Well, it's okay, Dwight Littlewood. We love you anyway.
Wait a second. If you guys got married, would she be throbbing Littlewood?
Yes. Okay. That's that.
I'm sorry, Throbbing. I'm sorry for having duped you all.
Oh, it's okay. I'll have to go back and tell them that we nearly killed the wrong guy. It'd be very unfortunate. No, wait. No, you are the right guy. You're just using the wrong name. That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. I'll explain it. They won't be mad. They won't be mad. Or Joe will swear and shout, and Broadsunder will, you know, I don't really know the guy. He is my boss. I don't go out drinking with him like I do with the lads and the ladies, but yeah, I don't think they'll be very happy that you're not the real deal.
Do you know a pointy-eared gal called Rue?
Oh, Rue the Knife Ear. Yeah, I know her.
Yeah, is she a big deal, or is she just a little?
She's, well, smuggling is difficult, so we use her connections. She's not a small deal. She's a tall deal.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say at this point in Elvish to Gilwyn, so what do we do about her? I don't think we're going to get a great deal more information unless you have any other questions. But we probably shouldn't let her go back to her company.
I go, what? Because I don't understand Elvish.
You don't understand Elvish? Caitlin assumed you understood Elvish.
She has like this meaningful string of Elvish, and it's like, what?
Caitlin assumed you understood Elvish, so she looks at you like, oh, sorry, and refers to Common, and then sort of like pulls him a little way away from her and sort of whispers the same thing in Common to him.
I know Gnomish.
Which means actually with Gnomish, you would have recognized at least she was speaking Elvish, because it's one of those like, whatever birth language they had is very similar. In fact, it's Sylvan. They both kind of evolved from Sylvan, one way, shape, or form. So it's like, you know she was saying something important.
Yeah. I can tell by the look on your face.
Yeah, okay, but that's fine. I mean, Caitlin just making assumptions about Gil, fair enough. But yeah, I would repeat it. I would pull him away from him and it's pretty common to him.
Okay. Should we? What should we do about Throbbing and her good friend over there? Should we just leave them, or?
We can't do much about her friend, and I don't really think it's a good idea if she goes back to the company. Although they'll know one way or another if they don't make it back. We could turn her into the guard as someone who tried to attack us.
That's a good idea.
I mean, we look fairly I look fairly bloodied as it is. It seems fairly believable.
You both look injured. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell Gilwyn way more because he's your friend. And it's not like his clothing is broken by this. But the way he's standing, the way he's walking, the way he's talking, he has taken a heavy blow. And not behind the alleyway.
Way.
There we go.
Have you got anything you can maybe tie her up with? I don't know if I want to take someone in this charmed state to the guard. That would ask.
That would
more
cause
questions,
questions, yeah.
Yeah.
I unfortunately don't.
Say, Robin, do you have any rope or anything to tie someone up with?
Yeah, I do have some rope, actually.
Great! Gilwyn, shall we?
Gilwyn, Throbbing, I'm going to play a little game with you now. Called I'm going to tie your hands behind your back and take you to the guards.
Oh. Okay.
Throbbing, have you read 50 Shades of Grey?
50 Shades of Granite.
So I do just that. I tie
You tie her hand behind back, and this is fine. Like, I sometimes make people do not tying rolls. She's willing, she's not struggling. She's just like, she actually goes, oh no, you put that loop through. She actually helps you tie her up. Now, Caitlin, I will need you, assuming you're leading, to make an investigation check to find the guards. To find a guard or a sort of guard keep, either way will work.
I would also say to Robin, I would say, when we leave you with the guards, you're not to say anything. Understand?
Ooh, this is a very a game of secrets. Oh, you know, I can
Yes,
do that.
absolutely.
Working for the Panther Way trapping company and all, and smuggling in illegal weapons and smuggling out illegal weapons and smuggling in illegal. And she just kind of, while you're walking through the streets, is talking about the illegal stuff they do because she's not in her right mind.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna fight the law.
You find like a proper guard like barracks in the middle of the city. You go there with someone tied up, and immediately a guard goes up to you. Like I said before, the guards in the city are very well armed. They're wearing red. They have those weird flat-ended swords. And immediately one goes up and is like, "What's this? Why is this maiden tied, chained?"
Sir, this lady attacked us all of a sudden. I mean, you can see my friend's limp, and wow, you can see the blood.
Oh.
I don't know.
Of course.
We
No,
managed to overpower her.
you do not tell any more to me right now. And he actually gets out like trauma blankets and gives you both one. Like puts both over your shoulders and like takes Throbbing from you, and like some other people go and take him away. Like this is horrible. Do you have any idea why? But please, if it is too traumatic, like for some reason, Caitlin, this guy is just believing you. It must be your very honest demeanor, honestly. And he's like, but if it's too much, please, we can have this conversation another time.
No, it's quite okay, but I can't think of why she might have attacked us. We were just walking through an alley. We were seeing the city. You see, it's our first time here. It was quite traumatic.
Perhaps they just disliked that you were kind in our city. Unfortunately, some of our brothers and sisters are not as accepting. It is unfortunate, but I will not. It is okay. You do not know. Do you need treatment? We have treatment. We have infirmary. We can patch your wounds. We can help you.
I would look at Gilwyn at this point, because I'm not 100% certain whether to accept that offer, whether it's a good idea to accept that offer.
Feel free to do an insight roll again if you actually want to be
no,
like.
it's not that I doubt his motives. I just don't know if it's a good idea when that woman will come out of her charm spell.
That's a valid point.
I will just shake my head and say I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have some skill with herbalism. We should be able to patch ourselves up well enough, thank you. Thankfully, she didn't manage to hurt us so severely that we're in any...
I cannot just let you go. You are coated in blood. A young maiden like yourself coated in blood. This is unacceptable. And he goes to a pouch. And he takes out a square bottle filled with a green liquid and pushes it into Caitlin's hands. Please, if you would make an old god cry if you do not accept such help.
Well, thank you.
Although
Thank you
Gilwyn's
so
actually
much.
way more injured, it's just because Caitlin is bleeding and has blood on her. You know.
Got another one of those. Got one of those vials for me there, Chief.
No, is given by the Force.
Shame.
Well, my thank you, Sir Garda. You've truly restored my faith in this city. It was momentarily shaken by her, but we will be getting on now. I think it would be best for us to rest for the rest of the day back at our tavern.
Okay, he lets you go, and we're going to take another real quick break before the last hour-ish, probably a little bit less, because Derek's got to be a dad, of the stream.
Hour's fine.
All he's got to be a dad to is a beautiful doggo. We'll be back in a bit. Oh, hey.
A nice big fluffy dog.